I'm Jason, the world is yours, and today we have a story about the NFL is investigating a second wave of potential violations of its gambling policy. Gambling in the NFL has clearly become a problem as of late. Five total players from the Detroit Lions and Washington Commanders were suspended for gambling violations just last month. I didn't even hear about that. And a new report indicates more could be on the way. Per ESPN, the NFL is investigating a second wave of potential violations of its gambling policy. Legal sports gambling is becoming more widespread, and the NFL is adapting to that. Third parties in partnership with the league are using a geolocation to identify bets placed from prohibited jurisdictions, not an easy word for me to pronounce, like team facilities per ESPN. Additionally, there are reported companies developing platforms that can track base bets placed by players and coaches, and in this situation, the NFL could provide a list of prohibited bettors to the platform. Okay, and that list would be shared with sports books. If one of those names attempts to place a wager they shouldn't, the transaction would be flagged. NFL players can legally bet on sports that are not the NFL. That's very important. Let me just say this one more time. NFL players can legally bet on sports that are not the NFL, okay? But they cannot place any wager from team facilities or while traveling with the team. That's what Lions wide receivers did, and they were both caught, both handed 6 game suspensions. Lions wideout, a safety, a pass rusher were caught. Okay, so these players were caught. I don't want to name them because probably can get sued and stuff like that. But these players were caught gambling on NFL games. However, and handed indefinite suspensions. However, that will keep them out of the league at least for 1 year. Wow. 3 of those players were all released. Okay. Um, Let me see. Atlanta Falcons wideout was suspended for what ended up being a year for betting on NFL games just last offseason. A total of 7 players, at least one assistant coach, and an unknown number of team employees have violated the league's gambling policy in the last 5 years. The NFL said it found no evidence of game manipulation. Okay, no evidence of game manipulation, but players are betting on NFL games. I mean, I don't, how can you? It's to me, it's tough because it's just like, how can you say there's no? I mean, I guess it wouldn't be any game manipulation, but you have to have, a lot of inside information, right? Like if you are a wide receiver and you hear basically through the grapevine that someone's ankle injury is a little bit more severe than they're letting out, and they probably won't play as much, or you find out that they're not going to play before everyone else is going to play and you throw in a bet. I wouldn't consider it game manipulation, but I don't think these players should be betting on NFL games. I mean, you have to be a total degenerate, right, to be betting on NFL games in this day and age if you are an NFL player, right? Like, if you think about an NFL, right, like, I mean, we all love betting on sports, and the NFL is just like probably the most betted on sports. So it's really fun to bet on it. It's definitely funner, right, than betting on baseball or the NBA. Betting on the NFL is like the best. It's, when it comes to sports betting, you probably, if you want to bet on sports, you want to bet on the NFL. But I mean, also betting on like the UFC is fun. Betting on boxing is fun. Betting on tennis is fun. Or sometimes not betting at all could be fun, right? Like, especially if you are in NFL, you know the rules. You can't gamble. There's no information as far as who else could be under these, under investigation for these allegations. Obviously, I don't want to mention any of their players because I do not want to get my YouTube channel demonetized or sued. So I'm not going to mention any players by name. Let the NFL go through whatever they're going through. But we're seeing, and it's crazy because we haven't really heard anything about the NBA. There was a referee a few years ago who got in trouble for betting on sports, but nothing in the NBA as far as NBA players betting on sports. Nothing as far as hockey or MLB, some words for soccer, some things going on in college football and things like that. But for the most part, this does seem like an NFL problem, right? And we'll see how deep it goes. I mean, 6 players last month, getting suspended for a year. These are really good players. A few players from the Washington football team, 2 players, 3 players from that team. They can't really afford to lose these really, really good players. But maybe the NFL needs to, update their rules or have some kind of league meeting before the start of this season, which is only like 2-3 months away. It's not that far. We're almost here in June, right? It's almost 100 days away from the start of the NFL season. So the NFL season is literally right around the corner. I'm pretty sure the NFL does not want to be dealing with, gambling allegations during this season. So we'll see what happens here. But let me know your opinion of this story. I'm Jason. The world is yours. Today we had a story about the NFL is investigating a second wave of potential violations of its gambling policy. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button, and please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.